Back, everybody. We are live on this SummerSlam Saturday. That's right, SummerSlam is tonight, not on a Sunday, but on a Saturday. And we're back. We are back from our trip to Fargo, North Dakota. If you guys have been following along with us on Twitter, you've been seeing all the different pictures we have been posting. And we even posted a couple of videos on the channel here of some of the sights and scenes in Fargo. And in fact, one of them, it did really well, performed super well. It got over 500 hits, my video at the Fargo Redhawks game. Got a bunch of hits. So a lot of people were interested in that, and a lot of other cool stuff. If you want to see downtown Fargo, Broadway Street, that video is up on the channel right now. If you want to see this big sporting goods store called Shields, which has all this cool merchandise, 2 stories, a chocolate store, all this kind of cool stuff. That's up on the channel right now, and if you want to see additional pictures, you can do that up on the YouTube page here. Hit subscribe while you're at it. Hit that like button, and you can check out the different videos. So while we're going to jump into this stream, it's Road to the Show. Tom Brady still trying to get into the major leagues here. And the Road to the Shows are easy to kind of just sit back and relax, kind of chat with you guys, see what you guys are talking about. And I definitely have stories to tell. I'm going to tell a story about my flight home. Of course, you've probably been hearing on the news and all that fun stuff about the trials and tribulations of the travel industry these days. And I've traveled quite a bit recently, and I haven't had too many brushes or bad situations, but my flight home, which was supposed to land me back home in Florida at about 5 p.m., I didn't get home till after 11 p.m., and throughout this stream, we're going to go into those stories as well. And any questions you guys have about North Dakota, if you ever planning on traveling, or what the city is like. Well, North Dakota is a state. What the city, I was actually in Fargo, what the city of Fargo is like. This is it. Hit us up as we're here. Again, hit that subscribe button. Follow along with us on Twitter if you want to see those pictures from North Dakota. And we got many more to come. You can check that out on Twitter, TV Sports 27, all up and down. It's on Twitter. It's on Patreon. And it's here on YouTube as well. Patreon, where you can really help out the channel and show your support. You can request various streams on Patreon. We got classic content, stat books, and you can really help shape the channel over on Patreon. So check us out there, patreon.com/tvsports27. Alpha is here. Welcome, Alpha. Welcome back. I'm back.
Hey, get your pitch
back from North Dakota.
He's going.
And like I said, we'll get into our travel stories later. Delta Airlines. The travel home that was quite interesting. Thank goodness for technology these days. I probably would have been miserable traveling, but with having my my Samsung Fold phone, I had plenty of YouTube videos. I had my Nintendo Switch to keep me. Speaking of the Nintendo Switch, Streets of Rage 4, which I've been wanting to play for quite a while, it's on sale for $10 on the Nintendo eShop. So I picked that up, and I'm going to plan to play it tonight during SummerSlam, because nowadays for the WWE pay-per-views, you know, they do, because they're on Peacock, they do advertisements. And, of course, I don't pay for Peacock that has the advertisements. Look at that hit as Brady's sending it back. And that's going to be a home run. How about our first stream back? Brady coming in and shooting one 430 feet, a 2-run shot, 15 dingers for Tom Brady. But yeah, but with Peacock, even if you don't pay, even if you do pay to not see the ads, you still have to sit through like commercials of video packages of the, you know, hey, here's this history of Bobby Lashley in the WWE, even though he's been in the WWE for, you know, years at this point, kind of thing. So usually during that time is where I'll play the Switch. So I got Streets of Rage 4. I'll play a little bit, and maybe that's something you guys want to see on the channel as part of the free play day. Busting out some Streets of Rage 4. Let me know if you guys played it. Alpha, have you played Streets of Rage 4 at all? WWE 2K22 is free on Xbox until tomorrow. Wow. That's pretty Is it free?
Off
just
the plate, ball one.
just on Xbox? You get that subscription or something? Was curious what your NXT universe you download custom pay-per-views. I did a little mix of both. I kept some of the custom pay-per-views like In Your House and I think New Year's Evil is in the game or something like that. Whichever ones didn't have numbers to them, I kept. But then the ones that were like NXT TakeOver 30 and NXT TakeOver 31, obviously, if I'm going to be doing a monthly and yearly universe mode, you wouldn't have an NXT TakeOver 30 every year. That doesn't make sense. So I went in and I took those ones out. I found an arena for the Bash at the Beach. So I have NXT Bash at the Beach. I have a Great American Bash I'm doing as one of the pay-per-views, but then I kept In Your House. I bumped Hell in a Cell down to be an NXT pay-per-view. I switched the September show for WWE to have... Oh, there's a little bounce that's going to be out. For NXT to have Hell in a Cell, and then for WWE to have the... I don't even remember what pay-per-view was it in NXT. Oh, Halloween Havoc. Yeah, so I gave WWE the Halloween Havoc show, and then I gave NXT Hell in a Cell just to kind of switch it up a bit, make it a little different right there. So that's kind of what I did for NXT in my universe mode.
He's out.
All right, you guys have any questions about Fargo? That is where the reigning and defending multiple-time national champions are of college football, the North Dakota State Bison, the Division I national champions. People always get it confused now. The Division I national champions, and you can look this up, goes to the winner of the FCS playoffs. Now, the college football playoff, which is what the national championship is now for the FBS level, and formerly the look at that, it's going to be a good ground rule double. The Crystal Ball, which was the Bowl Championship Series championship, that is not the Division I national championship. That is the championship for the FBS level, but the Division I national championship in football that is recognized by the NCAA, it currently resides in Fargo, North Dakota, as it has for many, many, many seasons. And they had replicas up in the Shields store. If you guys want to see photos of that, they are up on Twitter right now at TV Sports 27. You can see the replicas of the 8 national championships for North Dakota State. But yeah, they love their bison in that city, and I would imagine so. But green and gold all over the city. Pretty much every restaurant that we stepped into had the North Dakota State bison logo up on plastered up. I think I posted one of those pictures on Twitter. If not, ask me for them. I took every time I went into a restaurant, I saw that bison logo. I took a picture of it. Didn't get to go inside the Fargo Dome, unfortunately, because it's so close to the start of the new college football season. They were getting everything set up. My dad says they're putting new turf in at the Fargo Dome. So that's why they kind of had it shut down to the public. But I got to stand outside of the Fargo Dome. I got to take pictures, so those pictures, and the Wind Surge get a win. That's beautiful. I took pictures outside of the Fargo Dome, drove past it many a times. It's not what you would think, when you hear the Fargo Dome. I don't know, I guess in my head you think of a dome, like the Astrodome or the King Dome or something, but it's just a tiny, like a tiny building right off the corner of the road there. So, Brian, welcome back, Brian. Thank you. Welcome back to you. Welcome back to me as well. We're just telling stories about our trip. So if you have any questions yourself about Fargo, North Dakota, that's what we're kind of going over right now. And we got our fun little story about my trip home with Delta Airlines that I'm going to share with all of you guys. I posted a little bit about it on Twitter, and I even tagged Delta. It's kind of annoying because to try to reach out to Delta these days, they don't, like any other airline, you just hit them up, or any other company for that matter, you just hit them up on Facebook or Twitter, and you can just send them direct message. They get back to you whenever my internet is out with Spectrum. I just do a DM, they look into it, they tell me how long it's going to be, then they get it back up. Delta no longer allows you to contact them through Twitter or Facebook Messenger. You have to go through their website, and much like everything in the U.S., and I saw you know, it wasn't just my area in Florida. It's in North Dakota, too, where they're looking for workers and help wanted everywhere. So I don't know if this is the case of why they got rid of that service, but just trying to chat with the representative on Delta.com. You're stuck in line, and the person responds once like every 20 minutes, which is not ideal or fun. So, but yeah, in North Dakota, a lot of, they're definitely paying now. So, like, in Florida, $15 minimum wage just got passed about a month ago, a couple months ago, maybe a year or so ago. And they are going to bump it up to $15, but that's after, like, a certain amount of time. Like, it's going to increase, I think, up to $10 this year, and then $12 next year, then and eventually, like, after 3 or 4 years, it'll go up to $15 periodically. In North Dakota, I saw signs for Taco Bell hiring starting at $17 an hour, and there were gas stations that were hiring starting at $18 an hour, which is more than what Florida's minimum wage is eventually going to be. So if any of you guys can brave the cold and want to head on up to Fargo, they're hiring and they're paying people for it. So those are for the Taco Bell and the gas station jobs. I can only imagine what a normal, you know, a regular full-time job in Fargo would be. So just something to point out there. But how I got on the whole staffing thing is just talking about my experience with Delta Airlines, and I've flown pretty recently. Quite frequently, actually, the last couple of years. Like, I've gone to Tokyo, I've gone to Toronto, I've gone to Denver, I've gone to Las Vegas. I haven't had any major travel. Like, the most I had is on my flight coming back from Toronto to Tampa. Or not to Tampa. I think I had a layover in Atlanta or something like that. But there was a slight delay on the flight getting back, like an hour or so. But other than that, I have not had any, you know, hearing on the news, you hear it's just been a nightmare for, it seems like, a lot of the travel that people have been going through. And I have not been having that issue, those situations. But I did have that, and we're going to do it as a little teaser. We want you to stick around. But I'm going to tell the story of what happened trying to get from Fargo, North Dakota, back home to Florida, and how my one flight from Minnesota to Tampa turned into having to reschedule into 2 flights and having to fly into Atlanta, then into Florida, and going into a different airport and dealing with people that weren't trained. Everyone was very nice. I will say that right off the bat. I did not deal with, and I realize it can get kind of testy with rescheduling and all that fun stuff. But look at that, Brady beating out the run, and Brady's not known for his speed, so that's big business right there. Everybody that I dealt with and having to reschedule, we're going to get into why we had to reschedule, and where somebody either in the previous flight or in the current flight dropped the ball. Everybody that I dealt with in Fargo, in Minneapolis, I didn't deal with anyone in Atlanta. Everyone I dealt with Fargo and Minneapolis, all very kind, very nice staff. But, you know, I got to put it out there, severely undertrained. The situation that they needed to fix on both ends, they were not able to fix. And even, well, we'll get into the story later. We'll get into it a little, maybe we'll say about 4 o'clock. It's 3:18 right now, so let's say at 4, we'll jump into our Delta travel story. But you know, it's just, you've seen that a lot, like not just in airlines, but anywhere you go to any business. A lot of the untrained new staff, they're kind of just getting who they can get to kind of fill the spots these days. The great resignation, as it is. And I definitely ran into a lot of that in 2 different airports with Delta Airlines. So Aaron Judge becomes second fastest to 200 career home runs. Wow, Judge just continuing to dominate for the Yanks. So anyway, yeah, any other stories you want to know about Fargo? Like I said, some of the places I went to, you know, whether you consider shopping an interesting endeavor, but Shields was pretty cool. I went to the Roger Maris Museum, and we went to where his gravesite was as well. My grandmother knew exactly where that was, and there's a big sign pointing people to it, so it's not like we were just stomping through the cemetery to see that. They actually had a sign of telling people where the Roger Maris gravesite is. So that was kind of cool to see that in there. I think I put a picture maybe on Twitter, but there was a Yankees hat and a couple of baseballs and bats out left by his tombstone. But it was pretty cool. It was definitely cool to see the museum. It's inside of a mall, and the mall was pretty cool too. It was a lot more rocking than my local mall here. So they had a lot going on there. It was actually pretty cool in the mall. They had, I guess, people submit these recipes in the food court, which I miss a good food court. We have, in my city, we have a giant mall, a fancy mall that's doing a lot of good business, but there's no food court to speak of. There's all these expensive, like, rich people restaurants, like Seasons 40, whatever, I don't even know what it's called, and Cheesecake Factory, which is very expensive, and Kona Grill, which is very expensive, but there's like no food court. I love a good mall food court. The malls in Toronto that I went to all had amazing food courts, and in North Dakota, in Fargo, the mall had a pretty, I don't remember what the name of the mall is. I could probably look it up and find it, but it was the one mall that was in, oh man, just missed that one. It was the one mall that was in North Dakota. So the food court there, very cool. Very good pretzels at that food court as well. I had a giant pretzel at the Red Hawks game as well, the Fargo Moorhead Red Hawks. I'm 3 for 3 in this game. How about that? 3 for 3 while I'm yapping. And, the wind surge up 3-0 here. And we're starting off this endeavor. We're kind of struggling a little bit in AAA ball here, but we've started off these 2 games against the Missions pretty well. Ooh, just missed that one out there. But yeah, in the Fargo food court, people submit these recipes. So all up and down on the wall is all these food recipes. It was very, very, very cool. There weren't any really that caught my eye. I was looking for some cool ones I can take down, but there weren't any that caught my eye. But it was still pretty cool and a really neat idea. So the Best Buy too, inside the mall, there's a Best Buy that I'd never seen a Best Buy inside of a mall before. But apparently it used to be separate, and then they knocked down the wall to the mall and built an attachment from Best Buy to connect it into the mall. So it was kind of cool and a unique experience to be in a mall and then just waltz into a Best Buy store. So that was pretty neat. I did enjoy the mall. A challenge fail. We got 5 hits though, which is pretty good. So the mall was really cool. The Roger Maris Museum, like I said, was really cool. You know, had a lot of the signature home run baseballs. I posted a handful of pictures on Twitter. If you guys want to see more of those, what I can do is I'll think about, if you guys want to see more of those, let me know. And I'll put them up on Patreon. I'll put all the pictures up. I got about, 60 or 70 photos from my trip that I can throw up on Patreon. In fact, I might just do that after this stream for you guys. So if you want to see, because unfortunately Twitter, they only let you tweet 4 pictures at a time. So that's what you're kind of limited to. But on Patreon, I should just be able to upload the whole collection. So I'll look to toss that up, some of the stuff on there. But Shields is really cool. I got 2. Since it's so close to Minnesota, I'm a Minnesota Wild fan. I was able to get a Kirill Kaprizov and a Joel Eriksson Ek t-shirt. They had jerseys there, but the jerseys were several $100s. And for me living in Florida, a hockey jersey, I don't know when the heck I would ever wear a hockey jersey other than maybe inside watching a game. So I didn't elect to get one of those. They had 2 Bronco jerseys. They had a Peyton Manning and a Russell Wilson jersey, but same thing, both a couple $100s, and I elected not to go for that. A lot of Viking stuff, of course. There's an actual picture of me. If you guys want to see me in a Vikings uniform, that is up on Twitter. They had a display where it's one of those things, a headless football uniform, and you can get a picture there. So there's a picture of me in a Vikings uniform up on Twitter right now, so check that out. Let's see, trying to think what else from the trip. Downtown was really cool. Broadway Street. Boy, now we can't get the hits. That was pretty cool. A lot of mix of old buildings with just some new, like they're starting to put a lot of newer stuff there. And Broadway corner that they put there looks really nice. And so they're kind of getting to put some new stuff in there, but a lot of old stuff. We ate at a wood-fired grill pizza shop that had this, you know, just the whole floor was made out of, oh my God. And he chucks it over my head. The whole floor made out of, like, not 2x4s, but like wood. And then the whole interior of the pizza shop was made of these bricks. So it was like brick and wood floors. Really cool. Like, where do you ever see that? Boy, you're getting whooped here by the missions on this one. Zach Green. Welcome, Zach. We're just telling our stories about our trip to North Dakota. And Brady's rocking that one back. Oh, my God. That one hung up there for a long time. And Brady might end on an 0 for day here, unfortunately for him. But, Zach, if you have any questions yourself about Fargo, North Dakota, let me know. We're telling all the stories, and we're going to tell our Delta Airlines story in about 30 minutes here. Double play doesn't happen. So let me know any questions you got. But yeah, day one. Trying to remember what. Oh, come on, Brady, get it. Oh my God. Day one, we got there, ate at Olive Garden, really good meal at Olive Garden, then just hung out with my grandmother and my dad and all them all live up in Fargo, my aunt, uncle, so that's why I was going up there to visit. Day two was mostly checking out Broadway Street, you know, going up, seeing a lot of those old buildings. We went into the black building, which a lot of the buildings back in the day in Fargo, they were named after the people that helped architect them, from what I understand, from what my dad says, and what a lot of the signage in they're proud of their history in Fargo, that is for sure. Rich history there. So you'll see a lot of the buildings with different names, like at the very top you'll see the names of people, and those are the people that architected and helped build that building. So the black building is like a really famous one. Apparently it used to have, like when my dad grew up there, it had a lot of stores and shops in it. So he tried to take me in there to show me a lot of that, but there was no stores, no shops, and it was all businesses. We barged into one kind of almost like a modern office. It was just a bunch of tables with people working on laptops in there. And my dad's like, "Is there any shops or stores anymore?" And they're like, "No, it's all businesses now. Like not like businesses where you can go shop and spend money, but like worker businesses." So that was kind of, for him, it was disappointing because he remembered there being a lot more to that building. What a hit! Is this going to be a home run? He had 430 earlier. Oh, almost robbed, but it's over the fence. 420, 3-run shot for Tom Brady. 16th of the year. Starting to rack up the hits here. Could we be turning this thing around? We're getting the batting average up a little bit too. We were buried down into the low 100s, high 200s for quite a while, but we may be breaking out of this thing. May we be going to Miami? That would be a little fun little surprise here in this stream if we can get the call up here. So we nearly made the comeback. Boy, it was 10-0, and look at that. We tried to come back, put 8 on the board, but fall just short. But Brady going 1 of 5 with the home run. But yeah, so anyway, what else? Yeah, Broadway Street was downtown. There's a really cool. I didn't post the picture yet, but you can Google it if you want to see it. Fargo Mario mural. A lot of art, which is kind of, my city is the same thing too. That they like doing a lot of artwork downtown. But are we up to a 70 overall? We are. So we're even pretty highly ranked as far as guys on our team. So we got to be getting that call up soon. If we're 70th ranked, We're still cold, according to the at-bats, but we got the Dodgers, Oklahoma City Dodgers, up next. But yeah, a lot of cool artwork, and there was one of Super Mario. I probably should have gotten a picture in front. I took a picture of it, but I didn't actually get a picture in front of the mural. But again, if you want to see it, you can look up Fargo Mario mural on Google, and it'll come right up for you guys. So Broadway Street was pretty cool. Day 2, we kind of went back to Broadway downtown, and looked at some of the stuff again. Well, there's something else on day 1 I want to say, because day 1 was Monday. Monday was just having lunch or dinner at my grandmother's house. So that was what most of, besides Broadway, was eating the first baseman. Grammy's home cooked meal for the first time in, gosh, like 20 years. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that. And then yeah, Tuesday was more checking out Broadway Street, and then we went to the Fargo Redhawks game. They were playing the Sioux City Explorers out of Iowa, and that was really fun. A beautiful stadium out there. Interesting way to get into it. It's only a one lane road going in and one lane going out, going into a big baseball stadium. So getting into the stadium, the traffic was quite heavy. We took an Uber, and boy, eventually we just told the poor Uber, hey, you can get out of this, so that was a little strange. It's right by the university, right by NDSU, North Dakota State, the Bison. But only one way to get in, a one-lane road for, like I said, a big stadium like that, which was kind of, I felt that was kind of interesting. So, got a giant pretzel. If you want to see a picture of that, I believe that's up on Twitter. The huge pretzel from the Redhawks game at Newman Field. And if you want to see the stadium, there is a video up right now, as I said, here on YouTube. And it got a lot of hits. I don't know if people from the game were searching that or if you guys were just interested in it. But that little video of the Fargo Redhawks game performed very well here. It got almost 1,000 views from you guys. So check that out. It's a quick watch. If you guys want to see what the stadium is about there in Fargo. Interesting game too. We left early, which I'm never, me, I stay to the bitter end with my teams up until the end. But we actually left at the start of the 9th inning because, and the only reason we left early, and I never leave early at a sporting event ever, even when I'm watching a sporting event, if my team's getting blown out, I watch until the clock says 0, or in case of baseball, until we get to the 9th inning. We left early because of the road situation. Like I mentioned, there's only one road. Maybe you guys can look this up on Google Maps outside of Newman Stadium. But to get into Newman Stadium, there's one road, and it's one lane. So one lane going in, one lane going out. And so you can imagine trying to get into a baseball stadium with one lane. Like, to get to the main road to get to the baseball stadium, it's one lane. So, as I said, the Uber trying to get into the stadium inched along to the fact where we were able to just get out and walk. So with that being said, that's the only reason we elected to leave early, is because we knew we were going to have to get an Uber to get back out of there, to get back to where we were staying. And if we waited to the end of the game and called an Uber, then, that poor Uber driver who's working for tips, he's going to be sitting in 30-minute traffic trying to get up a one-lane road to pick us up, and then sit in 30-minute traffic to try to get out on a one-lane road. So it just, that's why we left early. And it was probably the first time in maybe my entire life, the first time in at least ever that I can remember leaving a sporting event early, and it was simply because of the road situation of getting into that stadium is very difficult, as far as there not being enough roadways. So that's why we left early. All that being said, it was the Redhawks were trailing 4-3 pretty much from the 3rd inning on. In the 8th inning, they were able to come back as Brady sends a long one out there, out to the outfield. And boy, if we had a little more speed, I might have tried to go for 3, but with Brady We're just going to park them right there at second. So with that being said, so in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Red Hawks actually came back. So it was 4-3, and they actually scored a bunch of runs, and they ended up coming back, and they took the lead 5-4. So they had a 1-run lead, and we're like, okay, they came back. They had been pitching well up to that point. So we're like, okay, we need to go ahead and get the Uber now because, you know, if we wait till after the game, the traffic's going to be a disaster for this poor guy because it's only one road getting in and out of the stadium. Again, look that up on Google Maps. It's Newman Field, and you can see the main road up to the stadium. It's a 1-lane road, which is very strange. Something I've never experienced, but it is Fargo again. It is, you know, a tinier city there. So we called the Uber driver and got in the car, and the guy, very nice guy, is like, oh, I never, you know, how's the game, whatever. I've never been to a game. He's from Kansas City. He used to see Bo Jackson play with the Royals and stuff, but he hadn't been to a game here. And, oh, who won the game? My dad said, oh, Fargo. You know, Fargo, you know, won the game. It's, you know, we figured 3 more outs. What the heck, right? So I get home, and I jump on Twitter. I go to the Fargo Red Hawks Twitter, and I look, and I'm like, well, I hate to tell you, not only is the game not over yet, but Fargo is now losing. They gave up, I think it was 5 runs. It was 4 runs, because it was 5-4 with Fargo leading, and we left, and then the Sioux City, the Explorers, put up 4 runs and took an 8-5 lead in the top of the 9th. And so we're back home. I'm like, yeah, it's even my grandmother, she said on the news they had reported that Fargo won as well when they did the evening news. So Fargo ended up losing the game. So we left with them being winners, and we left early, and then we missed them completely blowing the game. But it was a very cool atmosphere. I got a hat. They're giving out free hats, which was kind of cool. So I'll put that in my you guys would kind of see my entertainment center, but I got all these helmets and Funko Pops and different things. I can kind of tell you all the things I'm looking at right now. I got so the Red Hawks helmet will go in my entertainment center. I got all the original XFL helmets, the Birmingham Bolts all the way down to the LA Extreme at the top of my entertainment center. I got figurines, oh man, that was right down the middle. Brady just able to ground it but into the pitcher and get saved. The McFarlane figures, which he doesn't really make anymore because those were awesome. I have an old school John Elway. I have Larry Fitzgerald, Jake Plummer, which I'm looking at. I'm looking at my Minnesota Wild goalie helmet. I got my Nidoking plush that I got at the Pokemon store in Japan. I got my Kyle Orton autographed Broncos helmet that my brother got for me when he was in Denver, back when Kyle Orton was the quarterback. These are all the things I'm looking at right now. I don't know why I'm going over all this, but I guess I'm getting to the stuff we bought the next day at Shields. But I got at the Hall of Fame in Toronto, the Hockey Hall of Fame, a little Detroit Red Wing figurine, just a generic figurine, but I got that at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. I got my Terrell Davis, John Elway starting lineup figure from my childhood. I'm looking at that right now. I got my Chris Osgood starting lineup figure from my childhood. I got a Boise State stadium replica. It's like a Christmas tree ornament. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at a Denver Broncos snow globe. I'm looking at a North Dakota State Bison mini helmet that my dad had bought me previously. I'm looking at 2 hockey pucks that I got at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. One for the Detroit Red Wings 97 championship season, the first year that I saw the Red Wings win a championship as a fan of the Red Wings, and also the All-Star Game puck for the Minnesota Wild. And the reason I got that puck is because the All-Star Game logo is a bigger version of the Minnesota Wild logo, which I absolutely love, so I had to get that puck. I'm looking at my my Pop Funko figure that I actually bought here in town. This is when I was still living in Alabama at the time. I'd come to town and the comic book store was selling Funko Pop. So I got a Von Miller Funko Pop with a white jersey and blue pants, which is a combination the Broncos have never worn. And I have a Josh Rosen, because that was when he was the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals and a first-round pick. And so I proudly own my 2 Cardinal whiffs in life. My Matt Leinart jersey that I still own, that I bought the day after he got drafted because I thought he was going to be the next big thing. And my Josh Rosen Funko Pop that I bought the year that he was a starting quarterback. The same thing. I thought, oh, he's going to be our guy. And those 2 proud Funkos that I own. Going down the list here, I have 2 mugs that my girlfriend got me for my birthday from ReZero, a blue and a red of Ram and Rem. I have an Oscar pop as well that my girlfriend got me for my birthday. I have a Jessica Jones Funko Pop because I don't really get into a lot of the Marvel stuff, but I absolutely loved that series, so I picked that up. They're not Funko Pops, but they're kind of mini Ruby figures. So I have Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang all here. I have a box of Pumpkin Pete's Marshmallow Crunch. I have an empty syrup bottle that's shaped like the Canadian maple leaf that I got in Canada. And now getting down to the bottom of the tier here, I have a Tampa Bay Rays helmet. What's going on, Jaden? Jaden is here. Brian in the middle of his universe mode. Looking good, Brian. Yes, I will be watching SummerSlam tonight. I am very, very much looking forward to it. SummerSlam will be awesome. Jeff Jarrett on the card. But anyway, on the bottom of my shelf here, I got a Tampa Bay Rays helmet that I got a thing of pop that I bought at Tropicana Field that I got a popcorn in a batting helmet. And then a bobblehead of, oh God, who is that? That's Glasnow. Yes, Tyler Glasnow bobblehead with the powder blue shirt. And I got that going to a Tampa Bay Rays game on a bobblehead day. And then the 2 new additions that I added, why I even jumped into this whole story, the 2 new additions to the Entertainment Center cabinet that I am looking at right now is my Arizona Cardinals mini helmet that I bought at the Shield store in Fargo, North Dakota. On my 3rd day there. And right above that is an autographed Cincinnati Bengals Ken Anderson mini helmet. So they had these helmets, these football mini helmets, and they're mystery boxes. And, you buy it and you can get any autographed helmet from any superstar or Hall of Famer or whatever. And my dad bought me one. He's like, oh, let's get it. It's fun. So I had the choice of 1, 2, and 3, and not knowing what it was, a mystery. So I picked lucky number 1, and it was actually pretty cool. It's a Ken Anderson. I like the Bengals helmet in general. Like, obviously, as an Iowa Barnstormers fan, a unique helmet design. I'm always going to like. So the fact that I got a Bengals helmet in my cabinet is cool, even though I'm not a Bengals fan, which is weird because, as I said, I like the unique helmets. So you would have thought that as a kid I would have jumped all over being a Bengals fan, but I went the Broncos and the Cardinals as a kid. But it's a Ken Anderson autographed mini helmet, which is kind of cool. They had to cut one of the stripes off the helmet, so because he couldn't. With the way, if you can imagine, the Bengals helmet is, with the stripes, there's no room to put an autograph on there. So one of the stripes is cut off right in the middle, and that's where Ken Anderson signed his name, and he wrote, 1989 MVP, because he was the league MVP, or 81, not 89, 1981 league MVP, MVP he wrote on there. So it's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing, for that my dad got me, and a Super Bowl runner-up quarterback. Ken Anderson, but like I said, a guy that did a lot, MVP and stuff. On the other side of my cabinet, just to complete the list, if you guys want to know, I got an original XFL football, a black and red football. I got another Larry Fitzgerald figure. I got a... Oh, come on, Brady. See, I don't know if Brady's cut out to be this first baseman. Got to put him back at third. We got an Mari Stoudemire figure and a Tim Tebow figure. I got a Kane bobblehead. I have a Tai Chi and a Jushin Thunder Liger. Not like a figure, but a plastic cutout kind of thing that I bought at the New Japan Cafe while I was in Tokyo for Wrestle Kingdom 2022. As Brady's going to send that one out there, and that's going to be good for base hit. See, just to talk to you guys, these kind of games, the road to the shows, it just lends itself to, kind of putting something in the background, just kind of talking to you guys. I'm looking at a Minnesota Wild puck, a Detroit Red Wings puck, some Denver Broncos. I don't even know what they were. They were my childhood toys. But there were 5 figurines, like small figurines: John Elway, Bill Romanowski, Steve Atwater, Terrell Davis, and Shannon Sharp figures. My aunt got me North Dakota State Bison mints. So the case, the mint case with the Bison logo is in the case now here. Some origami that my girlfriend made is in the case right here. The Kane bobblehead, I don't know if I said that, a replica of a WWE Championship, not like the $300 replicas, but a $100 replica that when I was living with my buddies in Alabama, we would, there's a Twitter page, PW Scorecards, and we used to do that quite often. We kind of fell out of doing it, but we used to do that for quite some time, and the winner would get the belt. And then when I moved back to Florida, they ended up gifting me the belt. It's about a $100 belt. I have a Spider-Quinn plush, a Funko Pop plush, so it's a big one, because I like the design of Spider-Gwen, the pink, black, and white is really cool. And I designed my Windy City Ragin' Rabbits team of the Revolution League off of the Spider-Gwen colors with that pink, white, and black. I have an Evan Longoria plush stuffed, and that is it. So that is my entertainment center that I'm looking at right now. Brian, you're in the hospital too. We had who else was in the hospital? I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. We had somebody else at one of our other chatters that was in the hospital with a broken leg. I hope they're doing all right as well. Jaden said, what is your favorite match on the card? Favorite match? Boy, I mean, I think everyone's looking forward to the Last Man Standing match, so definitely eyes on that. I'm interested to see the Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey match, absolutely. Because, you know, Ronda just seems to bulldoze through people, but I think everyone wants to kind of see this Liv Morgan title run. How is it going to end up? So I'm very interested in Liv and Ronda. You know, no one's beaten Ronda Rousey twice. In fact, many people haven't even beaten her once, so Liv's one of those few. Is Liv going to be able to get a win? Jaden, that was you that was in the hospital. Oh, my goodness. So you and Brian, are you guys in the same hospital? I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you guys are both bouncing back from that. Just sit back and relax, and hopefully can heal up in due time. But yeah, I think the two that I'm most looking forward to, Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, and the Last Man Standing match. You know, and to see my buddy has a prediction now. My buddy from Alabama thinks what's going to happen. This is his prediction. Is it's going to be, you know, Last Man Standing, 15-20 minutes. These guys just beating each other down, whatever. Both guys are going to do some crazy moves. They're either going to throw themselves off the stage. They're either going to go through the announce table. They're going to break the ring, whatever. They're both going to be down. Austin Theory is going to come out. He's going to cash in the Money in the Bank and turn it into a triple threat Last Man Standing match. And then he's going to stand there, and the referee's going to count to 10. And Austin Theory is going to win the championship without having to do anything. He's going to walk out, cash in, stand there for 10 seconds, and get the championship. That's my buddy's prediction. We will see if that happens. He's got to get through Lashley first. Out in 2 weeks. Yes, Jaden is getting out in 2 weeks. That's very good to hear, my friend, on your road to recovery. So I think those two, off the bat, I'm looking forward to. Most of all. In about 10 minutes here, we're going to tell our Delta Airline travel story. So if you guys have any more questions about Fargo, North Dakota, if you have any interest in visiting Fargo, North Dakota, let me know. Trying to think of what else. I had lunch with, or dinner with Carson Wentz's aunt. It was kind of fun. My aunt is good friends with Carson Wentz's aunt. So we went to a really good Mexican restaurant in Fargo named Mango's. An interesting name for a Mexican restaurant, but they said it's the best Mexican restaurant in Fargo, and it was very, very, very good. That was like, I got stuffed leaving there. I ate good. The chips, man, the queso that they made was was incredible. It was a very, very good experience there. So it's kind of cool getting to do that. I only really spent the 4 days there because I get on Sunday, and it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and flew back on Friday. So, like I said, Sunday was kind of just seeing everybody, you know, the Olive Garden meal and everything like that. Monday was going to downtown, seeing Broadway. Tuesday, seeing a little more Broadway and going to the baseball game. Wednesday was going to Shields and the mall and all that stuff. I went and saw my uncle and his side of the family, so spent the day with him. And then Thursday, we went over the state line to Minnesota, just over the state line to Moorhead. And I don't know if I put these pictures up yet or not, but we went to, there's a really cool, I don't know if I call it a museum, but this Norwegian area that they have. And they this guy built this boat, this replica boat, or this Norwegian boat that he wanted to sail, and he sailed it over to this area in Minnesota, and they put the boat, the actual boat, on display in this building. And then they had a replica of an old Norwegian church that some of them are still standing to this day, but this is a replica of these churches that were built in like the 1000 ADs, you know what I mean? Like, so it was kind of cool to see that. So I did that most of my Thursday, and then the rest of Thursday was just hanging out with family. We went downtown a little bit because they were having kind of an event there. And Friday was travel day, and we're going to get into that after this. Holy smokes, the Tampa Bay Rays have traded for David Peralta in real life. Wow. And you guys know Peralta's he's one of our top guys on our Diamondbacks series, our top hitters. So Peralta coming to the Rays, and you know I'm a Rays and a Cubs fan, so it's pretty cool that Peralta is going to be coming to Tampa Bay. So you heard it here first on the stream. Breaking news: David Peralta coming to the Tampa Bay Rays. Very, very cool. Man, that is awesome. Our batting average leader from our Diamondbacks franchise coming to Tampa Bay. So, so we're pinch hitting there. So we'll do one more game, and then if you guys want to hear, you guys interested? Brian, Jaden, who else is here? Alpha was here. Zach Green. Do you guys want to hear my Delta Airlines story? Because it's going to come after this next game. So get ready for it. My travel home. And again, I've been very lucky. You hear nothing but horrible stories, and it's probably like, you know, it's the vocal minority that has probably been screwed over by bad travel. That's saying the travel is so bad that you're hearing about online. My recent travel to Toronto to okay, trying to get our batting average up. I felt like it's been going up a little bit. I realize it's been down in the dumps, but bouncing up a little bit. But my recent travel, as I said, to will be interesting to see if we get to the All-Star game, because I realize our batting average isn't great, but we're up there as far as home run goes, like in the league. Home runs, doubles, we're way up there. So anyway, Memphis Redbirds. So we'll play through the All-Star break. Are we on the lineup here? There we are. Oh, we're actually on fire. Look at that. We got a lot of fire next to our name. I like that. Let's go. Memphis Redbirds. So yeah, again, recent trips that I've taken to Denver, to Las Vegas, to Tokyo, to Toronto. No travel issues. Very minimal. As I said, my one flight from Toronto coming back to Florida had a slight delay, but that was it. Other than that, no major travel issues. This most recent trip coming home from Fargo to Florida, where I was supposed to get home at 5 p.m. and I got home at 11 p.m. I landed at 11 p.m. I didn't get home until almost midnight. I will tell that story right after this game. So get your popcorn. Jaden, get your ice cream if you're there in the hospital. And get ready for my Delta Airlines travel experience that I went through. And again, not to deter anyone or say to travel Delta or not travel Delta or all that fun stuff, but this was just the experience that I personally went through. And again, as I'll get into the story, dealt with nothing but nice people. Everyone was very kind, very patient, but just the situation of dealing with multiple untrained people that are in positions, and in more than one airport. It's not like this was an isolated case. There were 2 cases of untrained staff members in 2 different states that I unfortunately dealt with, and that, you know, you hear again all over the news, the staffing everywhere in the U.S., not just with airlines, but in every business. And it's a situation, maybe they're just grabbing people and throwing them in positions to fill shifts and hoping to get by their day. And I feel like I kind of saw a taste of that. Well, Brady's going to come home on that home run, so that's going to give the Wichita Wind Surge the lead here over the Redbirds. All right, Tom Brady back up. Batting average up to 220. So we've really bumped it up, man. We're doing much better than what we were in this one stream alone. Maybe just getting away from streaming for a bit kind of boost their energy, huh?
0-1.
James says, what is your favorite sport? It's probably football. I enjoy all sports, of course. Baseball, hockey. I grew up with football and hockey. I didn't start watching and enjoying baseball till later. I didn't start watching and enjoying basketball until later, and now I don't watch basketball at all. I watch a little bit of the Big Three. I do like the Big Three, just because it's more, it's 1 hour games. It's quick. There's not as much start and stop as there is in the pro and the college game. So, but football definitely is what I watch. Oh crap, I forgot I was doing that challenge. I already failed it on game 1. Football is definitely what I watch the most as far as pro football, college football, indoor football, USFL, XFL, like any minor football league that comes around, I'm always watching. I think just because it's so easy to watch, like with football, you only have to commit to, depending on, use NFL for example, you only have to commit to 17 games. Me, I commit to a little more because I watch the Broncos and the Cardinals. But like USFL, when I was a Breakers fan, I only had to commit to 10 games. For baseball, if I want to sit down and watch a Cubs game or a Rays game, I got to watch 162 games. And it's like, I enjoy baseball. I love baseball. I keep up with the highlights on YouTube. But I can't remember the last time I sat down and watched a full baseball game. Oh boy, I should have just gone to first. Couldn't beat the throw there. Because the season's just too darn long. And why am I going to sit here and invest 3 to 4 hours in game 1 of 162? Then the long run isn't going to mean much for the season when I can just catch the highlights and just hope my team gets in the playoffs. Then I'll watch the game. Same thing with hockey. I love hockey, but I very rarely will sit down and watch a regular season game. I did a little more last season when the Minnesota Wild were going on their hot stretch, and it looked like that they were going to have a deep postseason run. That did not happen. And speaking of deep, Brady going out to the wall there. Is going to slide in safe, continuing to boost that batting average. It's on fire all of a sudden, Mr. Brady. But same thing with hockey, 82 games. It's like, man, and then you get into the playoffs, 4 rounds of best-of-7 series. At the most, you can have 20 to 28 games of postseason hockey that you're going to have to watch to commit to. That's an entire football season. So for me, it's football, but I think it's mainly just because it's the ease of, games mean more, especially in college. 12 games, every game means something. The NFL, 16 games. You start the season off 0-2, 0-3, your team's like almost screwed kind of thing. So it's a lot easier football to kind of keep up and, especially the playoffs. Playoffs? You kidding me? One game. There's something about that Super Bowl. On the flight, I was watching a lot of, my favorite YouTube channel, NFL Throwback. I downloaded a lot of football games. We're watching that, and I watched the first Bills-Cowboys Super Bowl. And boy, how many turnovers that the Bills had. Where, man, they were in the game early. and they just started turning the ball over like crazy, turnover, and that's it. You can have a great team, and those Bills teams of the 90s, man. I mean, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Don Beebe, Andre Reed. I mean, just a stacked team. And they could never win the big one. In the game against against Washington in the Super Bowl, they turned the ball over a million times. And then the first game against the Cowboys turned the ball over a million times, and they ended up getting the loss because of that. And I kind of like that more. Like, it's one game for everything. Football, the Super Bowl, the big game, that's the game. 7-game series. Again, love baseball, Cubs fans, but it's like, when I think of the Cubs winning the World Series, I don't think about that one. Of course, Game 7 had that, infamous moment, the rain delay, the big speech from Hayward, and the big comeback. But I can't even tell you what happened in the other 6 games and stuff. But I can tell you exactly what happened in every Broncos Super Bowl. The Broncos-Packers Super Bowl, I can tell you how that game was back and forth, and the headache, the play-action fake, the Terrell Davis, the John Elway spin, the game against the Falcons, the Super Bowl, Tim Dwight, the kick return touchdown, Elway throwing for 300 yards, the Shannon Sharp getting injured early on, the deep 80-yard pass from Elway. I can tell you about the Seahawks Super Bowl, the ball going over Manning's head, not being able to get a first down, the kick return for a touchdown for Percy Harvin, and then Super Bowl 50 where Cam Newton got shut down. I can tell you everything about the Broncos Super Bowls. I couldn't tell you a thing about games 1 through 6 of the Cubs World Series. So, anyway, to answer your question, to put a capper on that was a terrible take. Football is definitely my preferred sport, but I enjoy all sports here as well. All right, are you guys ready? Jaden, are you ready? Brian, are you ready for the Delta Airlines story? Because here it comes.
The first baseman, number 12, Tom Brady.
Bunch of YouTube videos going on. Boy, I get caught up on YouTube, and then they send out a bunch of videos today. Right back to old square one. Anyway, okay. So Delta Airlines. So
All one's the count.
To fly from Florida to North Dakota, there are no direct flights in my area. There was one direct flight that I found on some airline I never heard of out of Orlando that would go from Orlando directly into Fargo, but to return, there was no returning flight on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday of this week. So I would have had to fly up with that one airline and then try to fly up with a completely separate airline and pay 2 separate fares. And Orlando is also about 2.5 hours away from where I live, so I said forget it. So I have a hometown, a local airport, but then I also have an airport out of Tampa. The Tampa airport's about an hour away, but the Tampa airport often has cheaper prices. So I went to the Tampa airport. So it was one connecting flight. So they were both out of Minnesota. So Florida to Minnesota, Minneapolis to be more specific, to Fargo, and then flying back Fargo to Minneapolis to Tampa. So flying up there, no problem. Everything was fine. So flying back. So my flight was at 10:50 a.m. So Fargo Airport, by the way, very tiny. There are 5 gates total. So when I went to the Atlanta airport, I walked around just to kind of stretch my legs. I went through Concourse A and Concourse B in Atlanta, and A was 40 gates and B was 40 gates. A1, A2, A3. Fargo is 5 gates total. When I went to the airport on the way, I didn't realize this coming in, but on the way back, my aunt was like, "Oh, what gate are you out of?" And I looked at my boarding pass on my app, and I'm like, "Oh, it says gate 2." I'm like, "Is there no number attached or no letter attached to it, like 2A, 2B, 2?" He's like, "No, it's just gate 2. That's all there is." Like, so very tiny airport in Fargo. So anyway, so flight was scheduled for 10:50 takeoff to Minneapolis, connecting flight in Minneapolis at about 1 o'clock, 12:50, getting into Florida at 5 p.m. With the time difference, you lose an hour going back. So the flight was scheduled to board at 10:20. for a 10:50 flight. So at 10:30, we hadn't started boarding yet. Everyone's sitting in the airport, and they make an announcement. And they come on, and they make an announcement. And they say, this flight is going to be delayed by about an hour to an hour and a half. I was like, oh, boy, because my connection in Minneapolis was only a 1 hour layover. So I was like, well, I'm going to be missing that connection. They said the flight, the reason it was delayed by an hour is the night before that particular plane was involved in flights that were delayed, and it's FAA regulations that the flight attendant team has to have so many hours of rest in between their shifts. Since the flights last night were delayed, they're not going to be able to get their full allotment of rest until I think it was 12 noon or whatever. It was supposed to be a 10:50 takeoff, and they weren't gonna. The plane wasn't gonna get here till I think 11:30, 11:45. Then we weren't gonna board or depart till after 12. So it was delayed by, like I said, about an hour and a half. But the thing that I still didn't understand and didn't get an answer in is why did we not know that bit of information until 10 minutes after we were supposed to be boarding? The lady that made the announcement said it was due to delays the night before that the staff needed to have their hours of rest per FAA regulations. But if that was known the night before, that these flights have been delayed and that staff wasn't going to be able to get on shift until 12 o'clock the next day, either that flight crew, I don't know how the airline business works, so if someone knows in the chat, maybe you can tell me, or someone in the comments that's listening to this story. That crew either didn't tell the Fargo airport that, hey, we're not going to be here till an hour later due to our FAA regulated rest that we have to have, or they did tell the crew in Fargo and somebody there dropped the ball and didn't pass that information along. So that information was known the night before, allegedly, because she said it was due to flights that were the night before. We did not get this bit of information until 10:30. The flight was supposed to board at 10:20. So 10 minutes after we were supposed to have been boarding is when we were told this information. Cobra, what's going on, Cobra? I'm in the middle of my Delta Airlines horror story. So 10 minutes after we were supposed to have already boarded the plane is when we found out this information. So how that information came in so late, whether it's from the flight crew or whether it was from the people in Fargo airport not relaying the information, I still don't know. That's beyond me. Why? Because if, you know, we had the app, the Delta app. You should have earlier in the day said, hey, this flight's going to be delayed. I could have went right then and there, rebooked all of my stuff. Instead, we're having to rebook all our stuff on the fly at the airport. So that wasn't okay. That probably shouldn't have happened. And the fact that, again, the information wasn't out there, because even on my app it said everything was on time. But it wasn't on time because the flight knew they had to have so many hours of rest in between from their last shift. So, again, how this information didn't get relayed. Look at this. We are 371 batting in this stream. It's been amazing. Not a problem, my friend. Anytime, you know, all the streams always go up in the archives. So if you miss a stream, just those still go for views here on YouTube. So if you're able to show your support, you know, hit the replay, watch a replay, get the views, and even if you're not here live, you can still check us out. So anyway, so with the flight coming in an hour later, I was like, well, I'm going to miss my connecting flight. So the lady said anyone that has connections, which pretty much everybody, I think, out of the Fargo airport does, unless you're just flying to Minneapolis or Las Vegas or something like that. There aren't very many direct flights in the Fargo airport because there's only 5 gates. So the staff up front, let me clear my throat real 1 second. The staff up front said, hey, if there's any connecting flights that you guys are going to miss, come up, we'll get them rebooked for you. And, of course, like 20 or 30 people get up in line. I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm in line with, you know, however many people. I'm probably like the middle back of the pack. So if there's 30 people in line, I'm probably like 20 people deep. And I'm like, I hope they rebook this flight before, because it's only an hour delay. I hope they can rebook my stuff before. So anyway, it got through pretty quickly. It actually wasn't that long of a wait, but I got through. And I said, hey, you know, flying from Minneapolis to Tampa. My next flight is scheduled to take off at 12:50. This flight's not going to leave here until now after 12, so I'm obviously going to miss my flight. So the lady looks, and she says, I only have one other connecting flight to Tampa, and it's at 8 p.m. So I would get to the Minneapolis airport at around 1 p.m., and I'd have to sit there from 1 p.m. until 8 p.m. for the flight to Tampa. I was like, oh, my God. So I'm all choked up now. So I was like, okay, well, what else other options? She said there's the only other options. Well, I said, are there any other flights, like, out of the other gates? Can I jump on one of the flights to, like, there was a flight to San Diego or a flight to Las Vegas. There wasn't anything going to the East Coast. All the flights at the other gates were Las Vegas, San Diego, I think Arizona, Phoenix might have been one. They're all going to the West Coast. So there was nothing going from, look at Brady going crazy. There was nothing going from Fargo to the West Coast over to Florida. So my only option was the flight to Minneapolis. There wasn't any other flight I could jump on. And again, this is the Fargo airport. This isn't the Atlanta airport where I got a million options. This is, I had 4 other flight options from Fargo to pick from, which there weren't any. So I had to stick with Minneapolis. Oh, that's going to be out of here. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, Brady. Was that number 17 for Tom Brady? We've hit a bunch of homers in this one. So anyway, so I'm trying to get rebooked. There's only one flight from Minneapolis to Tampa the rest of the night, and that's at 8 p.m. It's a 3-hour flight with the losing an hour. So that would have gotten me back home, like, after midnight. And, again, my day started. I woke up at 7 a.m. To get to the airport for this flight that was supposed to take off at 10:50 a.m. So I was like, holy smokes. So I asked them, like, so the other options were I could do a double flight, which means there were options of going from Minneapolis to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Tampa. So I was going to have to take 3 flights in one day. So Fargo to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to Atlanta, Atlanta to Tampa. That was like my only way to get back home, unless I waited for that 8 p.m. flight out of Minneapolis to get to Tampa. So I was like, all right. But then I ended up finding my local airport, the one I said is usually more expensive. Since they were having to rebook me anyway at no cost, I was like, well, can I just fly out of my local airport? The reason I don't fly, I'm actually from this town. The reason I don't fly out of there is because they're more expensive than Tampa. It's cheaper to drive up to Tampa and fly out of Tampa. She's like, oh, yeah, actually, there's a flight from Atlanta into your local airport. It'll actually get in 30 minutes later than what it would get into Tampa. But I was like, that's fine, because it's going to take an hour for me to drive from Tampa anyway. So me arriving 30 minutes later, like, there's no, you know, like, the difference. I'm making up 30 minutes anyway. So she's like, okay, great, yeah, we'll do that one. So there were 2, before I even got to this point, by the way, I should have mentioned, there were 2 staff members up front at the Fargo airport. One that seemed like she really knew what she was doing. She was commanding, hey, you know, taking the line. She really seemed like she's, you know, of course, I got stuck with the lady. Again, very nice, very kind lady, but the lady that didn't seem like she knew what she was doing. And, oh, hey, do you know, how do you do this? I don't know, how do you do this? It's like, oh, boy. They said 2. They were yelling 2, but I should have just gone to 1. It wasn't enough to turn the double play. So she rebooks me. So now instead of going from Fargo to Minneapolis to Tampa and getting home by 5 p.m., now I'm going from Fargo to Minneapolis to Atlanta to my hometown airport, and I'm getting home at 11 p.m. So I'm like, it's an extra 5 to 6 hours. Like, okay. So I'm on the plane to Minneapolis, whatever. I get off the plane to Minneapolis. I check my Delta app, and I'm clicking the button that says download your new boarding passes. And I keep clicking on it, It says cannot get boarding pass. I'm in Minneapolis at this point. I've landed in Minneapolis. They've rebooked my flight to a double flight. I'm clicking the button to try to get my new boarding passes, and it says you have to see an agent. Can't get boarding pass. I'm like, oh my god. So I walk all the way, of course, like every airline. I know, you know, how people
there's 100 people on a flight that probably have 100 different connections, so it's hard to make it perfect for everybody. But of course, I land on Minneapolis Airport in like a gate G, and my flight is in the C section of Minneapolis Airport. So I'm, oh my God, it's like a 20-minute walk to get to where my gate is. So I get to my gate, C10, if anyone cares, and get to the gate, and of course there's nobody there. There's nobody at my gate for the flight to Atlanta. So I walked to the next gate over, which is a flight to Baltimore, and a really nice guy. I'm like, hey, sorry, I know you don't have anything to do with my flight, but there's nobody over there. I'm trying to get my boarding passes for the flight to Atlanta and the flight to from Atlanta back home. So he's able to print out a boarding pass for my flight from Atlanta to go back to my hometown airport, but he couldn't print out the flight boarding pass from Minneapolis to Atlanta. Are you following all this? Is this giving you a headache yet, like it was giving me a headache being in the situation? So he couldn't do it. He tried. He's like, you're going to have to go up to the information office, the Delta information office. That's up by F1 all the way. So I'm at F10. I got to go walk all the way up to F1. So again, let's recap where we are now. So I woke up at 7 a.m. I ate breakfast, 7:30, 8. Now it's 1 o'clock. I just landed. It's 1 o'clock now in Minneapolis. So it's been 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 hours, 5.5 hours since the last time I ate. So my whole thing is, okay, I'm going to get into Minneapolis. I get in at 1. The flight out of Minneapolis to Atlanta is at 3:15. I'm going to have 2.5 hours. I'm walking through the concourse because I'm going from gate, whatever, to from F to get to C to get my boarding pass. And I'm looking at all these, like, really nice restaurants. And, like, oh, I'm going to have 2 hours to go. I want to eat there. Oh, look at that. That looks good. I'm going to get my boarding pass, and I'm going to go eat at one of these really nice restaurants in this Minnesota airport I'm probably never going to get to go to again. Like, I'm really excited. So I can't get one of my boarding passes, so they send me to the information guy up at the beginning of the gate. So this guy was very, very nice. Again, very nice, very kind, very patient. But my God, he didn't know what he was doing, unfortunately. So what apparently happened was, well, he kind of knew what he was doing. He knew what to do, but to alleviate my issue, he didn't know how to alleviate my issue. So again, very nice guy. So there's 3 guys up front, and 2 younger guys, 1 older guy, and I was dealing with the older guy. Where are we in this All-Star game? I wasn't even realizing we were at this point. The Futures game? Look at that. We are in the Futures game. How about this? This is pretty cool. Woods Richardson. Is that the guy's real name? Anyway. So what apparently happened, how this guy, again, 3 people up front, 2 younger guys, 1 older guy. I was dealing with the older, not old gentleman. He's probably in his 40s, 50s, maybe. I don't know. But again, really nice guy. But the 3 of them, what stadium are we in, by the way? This is the Braves, the Chop House. I've been to this stadium.
The count
by the
is
way.
1 and 2.
We need to have a good showing here. This would be a good big business here. And this story is a long way from being over, by the way, my Delta Airlines story. So 3 guys up front. The 2 younger guys had no idea. The one poor kid was complaining that he had worked 14 days in a row. He had worked his 2 Monday through Fridays, and he picked up a weekend shift, so he'd been working like 14 straight days. And the other kid was like, you can't do that. It's policy. You can't work more than 12 days. The guy's like, well, I've been doing them. I'm on day 15 right now. So they didn't know what they were doing. And the older guy knew what he was doing, but again, didn't know how to. So what happened was, apparently, in Fargo, the lady that I said didn't seem like she knew what she was doing, she rebooked my flight wrong. So however it worked with Delta Airlines, we'll take that, is when you're rebooking a flight so that the customer, me, doesn't get charged, they have to send these quote-unquote coupons through the system. That's what the guy kept saying. The older gentleman kept saying, the coupon's not here, the coupon's not here. That's how they can change flights and I don't get charged. They want me to steal a base? Oh my God, we'll try it. It never works out for us.
Ball, that's out.
Did we actually steal it?
He's out.
No, see, that's stupid. There's bad logic in this game. They should never be telling me, who I purposely don't have a lot of speed because I'm Tom Brady, to steal a base. That should just be like in the DNA Brady does not steal. Like, if you have slow running, don't tell a guy to steal a base. So anyway, what allegedly happened is a ground ball. What allegedly happened was because my flight went from a not a direct flight, but a one flight from Minneapolis to Tampa, and now I had to do 2 flights, is the lady only sent the quote-unquote coupon. That's what the guy kept saying. I don't know if that's the right term, but the guy kept saying coupon. She only sent the coupon or rebooked. She rebooked me for both flights, but the boarding pass couldn't be printed because the lady did her rebooking incorrectly. She only correctly booked me from Atlanta to my hometown airport. She didn't correctly send the coupon or rebook the coupon for the Minneapolis to Atlanta flight. Since I was going from 1 flight to 2, she only booked 1 flight to 1 flight. Does that make sense? So I was missing the ability to get a boarding pass for my Minneapolis to Atlanta flight. So I'm like, okay. So the guy's trying to figure it out, and he can't figure out how to do it. And he prints my boarding pass, which I already had from the other guy. Now I had 2, which is fine, from Atlanta to my hometown airport. He can't figure out how to print the boarding pass from Minneapolis to Atlanta, and he's trying, and he's asking the 2 kids, and they don't know. And he went out and he asked this other lady, and she didn't know. And he's calling, and nobody knows how to do it. He's like, I don't know how to print. I don't know how to get through the system. So up against the wall, there's 5 landline phones that you pick up and automatically connects you. When I say quote-unquote automatically, without dialing anything, it connects you to like Delta headquarters or whatever, or whatever Delta help line. I guess like any normal person, if you would call this Delta help number on your app or whatever, this is the same thing it would go to. So this guy says, okay, go over to one of those 5 phones, pick up the phone, you'll be on hold, and when you get to an agent, wave me over. So I do that. I'm on hold for like 15 minutes, ridiculous amount of time. And I guess in the long run, 15 minutes doesn't sound that major, but when you're like, literally when you're in the business of getting people on flights on time, like every second kind of counts. So it's like a 15-minute wait with this lady. Finally get someone on the phone. I flag the guy over. He explains like, okay, this guy needs 2 tickets. I'm only able to print 1. Can you send an override over to my system so that I could print the boarding pass? You guys following all this. This was my nightmare yesterday. So you guys can print the boarding pass, so I can print the boarding pass for the flight from Minneapolis to Atlanta. So he puts me back on the phone with the lady. The lady goes on hold because she doesn't know how to do it. She comes back. She's like, okay, I sent the thing. Now, the guy says, don't let her off the line. Keep her on the line so I can confirm. So she comes back from being on hold a second time, and she says, okay, I sent the thing over. You should be good. You're all confirmed. The guy leaves at this point, and what he eventually said is he had left. He saw somebody that he thought could figure this out, and he was trying to. Oh, man. So we got 2 walks in the Futures game, and we get pulled. So, no, it looks like the American League is going to take the 2-1 win. But we went 0 for 1, so we got 2 walks, which is pretty, means our plate discipline is up, and we had that ground ball out. So the guy wandered off. So I said, hey, the guy stepped away for a moment, but he's asking, can you stay on the line to make sure you can confirm? Oh, I got other calls, right? It went through, I promise. It went through, thank you for whatever with Delta, and she hangs up. It's like, oh my God. So the guy comes back, and I'm like, hey, she ended the call. I told her to wait, but you went off. And he's like, oh, I thought, one of my, so we didn't make the All-Star game. We didn't get called up either. I saw one of my coworkers. I thought they could fix it. They didn't. But I said, the lady said she sent the thing through. Oh, okay, great. So he gets back on his computer, and he gets back on the computer. No, but still, I still can't do whatever she did. She didn't do it. So this is like the third between this guy in Fargo and the lady on the phone. This is 3 people at Delta that I've dealt with that don't have any training on how to do. And in my mind, again, I don't know the travel industry. Maybe somebody that is more in the airline industry, like maybe they'll type up Delta and this video will come up and they'll watch it. Let me know in the comments. But I would think that one of the basic training things that you would like train someone in an airline industry is how to rebook a flight, because I would think that flight delays and flight changes is probably one of the most common situations that come up in airline business. The fact that I dealt with 3 different people that didn't know how to change a flight, was like, okay, that's a interesting situation I'm dealing with here. So, okay, so whatever. So I get back, the guy says, you're going to have to get back on the phone again. So I get back on the phone. I'm on hold again another 15, 20 minutes. I get a lady on the phone. Same thing, wave the guy over, explain the situation okay. He goes back to his computer. The lady says, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, I'm on hold for another 10 minutes. Lady comes back, says, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to forward you to somebody else that for sure knows how to do this. So this is the fourth person in Delta that didn't know how to rebook a flight. So I'm on hold again, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes again at this point to get a fifth this is the third person on the phone, but the fifth person overall. So third person on the phone, and she says, okay, I know how to do this. Hold on, I'll put you on hold. She goes on hold for like 15 to 20 minutes. So at this point, it's 2 o'clock at this point, and this flight to Atlanta that I have to get on to get to my hometown station, to my hometown airport, is leaving in an hour and 15 minutes, and I still haven't eaten yet. I haven't eaten since 7:30, 8 in the morning. It is now 2 p.m., so I'm getting hungry, and I'm missing my opportunity to eat at one of these cool restaurants in this Minneapolis airport. So I'm like, okay, this is really happening. So the lady goes on hold. She comes back, and she says, we don't have a way to do this here. I don't have a way to do this. I'm going to forward you over to international relations, whatever that means. They will for sure know how to do that. So I told the guy this. I'm like, she didn't know. She's forwarding me again. And he's like, oh, yeah. I know those people, they'll be able to get it. So I'm sitting on hold, I kid you not, for 30 to... actually, it ended up being almost 40 minutes at that point with this thing. So I'm sitting on hold, and it's playing this terrible music in my ear, and terrible hold music, and I'm standing there over at the thing, and it's getting to be 2:30. It's 2:15, 2:20, and I'm looking at the guy, and now I'm starting to kind of get agitated again. And he said I was very patient. He's like, thank you for being so patient. I'm like, no, thank you. I appreciate you working with me. It wasn't you, just the whole situation was crazy. But I start to kind of push him a little bit. I'm like, hey, it's 2:20. I'm on hold now. This is the fourth person on this line that I'm on hold with. It's getting close. I haven't gotten anything to eat. I really want to get something to eat before I go on this flight. This flight to Atlanta, from Minneapolis to Atlanta, is going to be 2.5 hours. I'm going to get cookies and a bag of chips on the flight. Like, is there any other way? Like, he's like, no, this is the only way. This is the only way. So he jumps on the phone at this point, and he's calling from his phone. So I'm on hold. He's on hold. There's jazz music playing, because that's the hold music left and right. And so this was at like 2:15. Now it's 2:20. And it's 2:30, and it's 2:35, and it's like, and finally I'm like, look, we have to figure something out now. Like they're not answering. I've been on the hold now for 40 minutes. They're not answering. You're on hold. You're not answering. Like I'm starting to get a little agitated and a little louder, but still kind of keeping my composure. Like this flight's getting ready to take off in 20 minutes. I haven't eaten yet. I'm just about to walk up to the gate with all this information and tell the guy to get me on.
One ball, one strike.
And the guy finally was like, okay. He calls somebody on his phone. Why this wasn't done from the beginning, or maybe the guy wasn't on shift yet, I don't know. But he calls somebody on the phone that he's able to get a hold of, I assume in the airport, because he gets right through to the guy. And the guy pushes it through for him. And he's like, oh, and the boarding pass prints right out. And then I hear the guy on the phone talking to the other guy, the guy that pushed the older gentleman on the phone. Is like, oh, can you show me how to do that? I don't know how to do that. Can you show me how to do that for next time? So the guy on the phone walks him through how to do that for next time. And I get my boarding passes at like 2:45 for a flight that takes off at 3:15. So they're boarding right now. I haven't eaten anything yet. Anything since 7:30. So it's 7:30 to like 2:45 now, almost 3 p.m. So I'm starving at this point. I got off this airplane from Minneapolis at 1, and I stood at Delta Information for 2 hours trying to get my boarding passes, because in Fargo, the chain of command that caused this to happen was in Fargo, the information wasn't relayed by somebody that the flight was going to be an hour delayed because of FAA regulations, because of sleeping. The lady at Fargo didn't know how to rebook a flight correctly. The staff in Minneapolis didn't know how to fix the issue that the lady caused in Fargo to get 2 boarding passes. They were only able to print 1. Nobody that I spoke with on these phones that go right to Delta headquarters. I spoke with, how many people did I say? It was 1. First lady didn't do it. Well, the first lady said she did, and then she didn't, so she just flat out lied. There were 4 different people that didn't know on the phone how to fix the issue. I was on my phone, by the way, on a chat line, because that's how I found out that Delta doesn't allow you to send direct messages on Twitter or Facebook anymore, is that you had to go through their website chat line, which is so janky and doesn't work. And I'm sending messages, and the guy's replying the guy's name is Mario, so if you get Mario on the Delta helpline, the guy's replying every 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not getting anywhere. So anyway, so the guy finally got taught how to push this thing through, how to make the coupon go from 1 flight to 2 flights. I get my boarding passes. At this point, my hope for sitting down and eating at a nice Minneapolis airport restaurant has gone up in flames. So my only option is a basically fast food, which is in the F gate section. It was like there's a Panda Express, a Chick-fil-A, and a Wendy's. Panda Express, I'm not going to be able to eat that on an airplane. Chick-fil-A, the line was out the door like Chick-fil-A as always, so I did Wendy's. The Wendy's at the Minneapolis airport doesn't... I have the Wendy's app, because I love Wendy's. I'm like Aaron from Grant. I love Wendy's. I have the app to get points. We don't do the app here. Well, you're a Wendy's. Why don't you do the app? Whatever. So I get Wendy's, so it's like $2.50, and the flight leaves at 3:15. So I sit down, and I scarf this Wendy's down. And at about 3:10, I hop up, and because the little food court was right in between the F gate, so I was F10, and the little food court was like at like F6 or 7 or whatever. So I scarf Wendy's down, I get up, I jump on the flight, and I'm on my flight. So get to Atlanta. After that, everything was fine. The flight from Atlanta to my hometown airport ended up being delayed by about an hour and a half, and then they updated it and they said it wasn't as delayed. It was only going to be delayed by about 30 minutes. So I was like, whatever. And it was heavy rain in Atlanta, which is why that flight got delayed such as it was. So get to the Atlanta airport. I had like 2 hours to kill, so I walked around. Like I said, I walked all up and down the A concourse. I walked all up and down the B concourse just to kind of stretch my legs, so I'd been sitting all day. Got on my flight from Atlanta to my hometown airport, landed just after 11 p.m. So yeah, that was it. That was my my Delta travel story. So what was supposed to be, again, a flight getting into Tampa at 5 p.m. ended up being a flight that I had to take 2 different flights. So yesterday I was in 4 separate states and 3 airplanes yesterday. I went to North Dakota, Minnesota, Georgia, and Florida all in one day yesterday. 3 separate flights. A 6-hour difference from the time I was supposed to land in Tampa to the time I actually landed. Didn't get home till midnight, so even longer than that, because I was supposed to land in Tampa at 5. I didn't get home till midnight. Again, everyone was very kind. I did not deal with any mean staff people. Everyone was very nice, very patient. But what do you say? Is it a state of the workforce continuing in the U.S. that has been so prevalent, where it's a lot of untrained people just kind of getting thrown into jobs? I'm seeing that a lot more at fast food places, where it's a lot of young kids because nobody can afford to work these jobs for that little money, which is why you're seeing a lot of high school kids doing these jobs now. It was a lot of untrained staff that I dealt with in 2 different locations. I didn't have to deal with anybody in Atlanta or Sarasota, or Tampa for that matter, so I can't speak to that, but it was definitely in Fargo, where the miscommunication happened about the flight delay that didn't get relayed was, I imagine, somebody not being trained up on protocol. The staff in Fargo not knowing how to rebook a single flight into a double flight, because that was my only option. That screwed up me having to miss my opportunity to have a decent and relaxed meal in Minneapolis, to standing at the information counter on hold for over 2 hours with 3 staff members that didn't know how to print my boarding pass, and then being on the phone with 4 different employees at Delta, wherever Delta headquarters is on this phone, that didn't know how to resolve this issue. It was just insane, like, how many people I dealt with. The only person I dealt with that actually seemed like they knew what I was doing, when I got to Atlanta, as soon as I got off of the plane at Atlanta, I talked to a staff member that was there, and I gave him my baggage number, and I said, can you confirm that my bag was actually on this flight and is going to make it to my hometown airport? Because I've had to reschedule and rebook, and it was been a big mess. And he knew exactly how to look up, and he said, yep, I can confirm your bag is on this flight. Your bag will be on the flight to the next airport, and it was there. There are no issues with that. He was the most helpful of the bunch, and he was a gentleman in Atlanta. But again, just a lot of untrained staff members manning very important positions, not knowing how to do the basic task of rebooking airline tickets, which happens all the time in the airline industry. So that was my story. That is what I dealt with yesterday through the Fargo, Minneapolis, Atlanta, and Florida, hometown Florida airport. So that's my Delta story, and well, there you have it. So that's it. I think I'm all out of stories. I told everything. If you guys have any questions that you want to know about the Roger Maris Museum, or what life is like in Fargo, or anything like that, I'm open. I'm going to stream until 5, so another 30 minutes I'm going to stream with you guys. And then at 5 o'clock I'm going to make dinner. And I got about 2 hours to watch some TV before SummerSlam starts. So, yeah. Pre-show starting at 7, of course. I don't know if they'll do anything of note on the pre-show or not, but I always like to have it on. But that is my airline story. So let me know if you guys have ever had any of the similar issues, or dealt with any similar issues, or I'm sure everybody's got some kind of crazy airline story they can deal with. But I've never dealt with that many people in a short amount of time. Don't do it, Brady. Don't do it. We've never seen Brady get this hot and angry before. I've never seen that many people that didn't know what they were doing in a short amount of time. Like I said, from Fargo to Minneapolis, and not only those 2 locations, on the phone. Whatever people are working at Delta, I say Delta headquarters, but whatever those landline phones are, next time you're at the airport, and if you're in the Delta section, there's it's just raining nonstop in Iowa. At the information center, there's phones, landline phones, that are all up against the wall. Whatever direct line those go to Delta Help, nobody on the phone at Delta Help. Not only were they not able to answer the phone quickly, it was quite a long time being on hold, but neither of them knew what to do either. So I think I dealt with, because that was 4 people on the phone. The 5th person didn't answer because the first lady ended the call. So 4 people on the phone, 3 people at Minneapolis, including there are more people that he asked. Like, he asked a couple of people. So if you want to round up, 1 person in Fargo, 3 in Minneapolis, 4 people on the phone. And if you just want to round up and say the 2 people that he asked, because he asked. Oh my God, we're not doing good at fielding at all. He asked twice. He wandered off to go ask somebody. So that was at least 10 people within a period of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 10 people that work for Delta that had no idea what they were doing. So that was quite an unsettling experience, to say the least. So if you have any questions, if you want to know any more airline questions, or again, if you want to know any questions about things to do and see or lifestyle in Fargo, we'll be streaming now for the next 20 minutes. So the chat is open. Hit us up in the chat and ask whatever questions you got.
Now batting, right fielder, Jesus Sanchez.
I'm reading this article. Someone just sent me apparently Madden 23 franchise mode, which we mentioned we're going to get Madden 23, but that's only after we get a PS5.
Now batting.
They are apparently adding a whole bunch of franchise ones. I'm thumbing through this article right now. Oh, there's nothing in this article. Why did my friend send me this? This article literally ends without saying, Madden is sent to add a lot to Madden 23 franchise mode, a number of new features coming, but then it doesn't say what any of the features are. A number of new features that will improve the experience. The biggest changes to set are to come.
The first baseman, number 12. Tom Brady.
It basically just talks about free agency, whatever, like that being the big to do. All right, we kind of trailed off a little bit. We had a hot start to this stream, and we have kind of trailed off a bit as far as our hits go. We were hot early on.
Ball one.
I probably swung at some wild pitches too, because I was so busy telling my story. That might be why we trailed off a little bit. My travel stories. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. Texas A&M lands number 1 linebacker Anthony Hill. I was actually getting in kind of a college football mood the other day. I won't lie to you guys. I was on the plane talking about some of the different things I watched on the plane. I watched the USC Texas National Championship game. Boy, that was a game USC blew, didn't they? They had 2 turnovers inside the red zone where they could have blown that game wide open. One of them being that Reggie Bush play, if you guys remember that game, where he tried to just lateral the ball in the middle of the play, and it obviously did not work out too well.
The center fielder, number 7, Cole Roeder.
But anyway, 222, 17 homers, 40 RBI, somewhat decent. But yeah, college football, like I said, I was kind of getting an itch. I hadn't played that since we did our Utah Utes Dynasty, which we are deep into that. Again, a lot of that old footage lost. Great YouTube purging of 2020, but we brought it back on Twitch. And those old episodes are up on here on YouTube as well. But I was kind of getting an itch. I was getting the college football itch to maybe play another season of that. So maybe coming down the stretch here, we'll be getting some more college football in. You all know the new game's supposed to be coming out soon. All right, I'm done with this Iowa seed. We're struggling against them. It hasn't stopped raining against this team. It's still raining. This got to be like a glitch in the game. Like it doesn't update the weather if you do play next. Because that's like what happens if you do player lock in if you do player lock on with MLB teams, that if you hit play next, the uniforms don't change. Which if we ever get called up to the pros, I'm gonna have to exit out after every game, because if you just keep hitting play next, play next, play next, the unis, all the different uniform options don't ever change those. So that is a glitch that's with the game. So I wonder if that's the same glitch with the weather. If I think this is the last game of the series now, if we're getting blown out by the Cubs again, that if this game ends and we have another one, I'll exit out and see if that stops the rain, and then I will know it's a glitch. And if it does rain, I'll just have to exit each time. It's a time saver not to have to exit out each time, but you know. We got some good wood on that one, but it's an out again for Brady. So our hot start that we had in this stream starting to tail off just a bit here, but we did boost that batting average back into the 200s. Back up now. Oh my God, I was hitting the back button and he was jogging away, but I guess that's all it takes, huh?
The first baseman, number 12. Let him right here. Brady.
Hey!
See it up, drive it like you can. Let's go.
Oh.
Got him.
The next next indoor football playoff game is tonight, isn't it? How about Quad City make it to the championship game, huh? Big business for them. The show, slow motion. Probably one more series after this, and that will be the end of this stream for today. As I said, it's almost 5, so I imagine if we do one more 5-game set, that's usually about what we do anyway. We usually do about a month worth of action here. At this point, it's just kind of, you don't want to sound selfish, but it's all about just boosting our numbers, because it's been quite a while now that the win surge have been kind of out of it as far as way below 500. Oh, look at that. He drops it. Go, Tom. Oh, my God. Again, I'm holding up the whole time. That should have been a triple. I'm holding for him to advance, and he's not going. I'm holding advance the whole time. That absolutely should have been a triple, but he just stops. He just stops. We're in this one, though. Cubs 6, win surge 5. Sanchez strikes out.
Now batter.
Keep it going now. Keep it going.
Brett Beatty.
Wow. Couple of strikeouts after getting on base. Nothing like it.
The center fielder, number 3, Monte.
Hey, clutch up right here.
You're scoring, you're scoring, you're scoring, you're scoring!
Well, that was, that's why we've been losing so much against the Cubs, and the Cubs get us again here. We go down. All right, one more series. Jake Arrieta. Look at what Arrieta doing his minor league bidding here.
All right, so one more series. It's going to be against Omaha Storm Chasers. Should we train up? Keep getting our power up, right? We've been pretty good with the home runs, so let's keep boosting that power. Let's keep making Brady strong. Let's skip this nonsense and do a mini game. All right, so we'll do this set against the Storm Chasers here.
And now, your Wichita Windsurf.
All right, this is going to wrap this one up here, this series.
Leading off for Omaha, the center fielder, Zach Grant.
No out. Straight up.
Nice little grab there, easy enough.
Batting third, the
Hey,
first
see
baseman,
it. Drive it. Let's go, big dog.
Brady.
Hey, get your pitch right now.
No, that missed. That's
Back home at the porch. Always good to be good at home at the porch.
Wow.
You see the Cubs are in first
Hey, be
place,
patient.
so
Stay back.
they're
Get your
not
pitch.
going to
Let's
around.
go.
Oof.
1-1.
Hey, let's go, big fella.
Right.
This is Linda McMahon video.
Ball outside.
People are bothering her about Vince.
WWE, what are your thoughts? I'm not here to talk about Vince and WWE. I'm here to talk about AMPI.
He's in there.
I was just wondering what your thoughts were on him deciding to leave. Fans of wrestling or can't believe
Drive it like you can.
Well, you know what? He'll just be deciding on how he's going to spend his free time. I think that's a good thing. Thanks. Are you concerned at all about the investigation? The hush money? Come on. I told you I was here to talk about AMPI.
Wow. Linda shut that down. Linda did enough of that. Yes, the Rattlers and the Wranglers do play today in the final indoor playoff game.
Sanchez.
Here we go. On the back, pick it
Oh,
up.
go! Golly. I guess I hit the wrong button trying to slide, huh?
Batting fifth, the third baseman, Brett Beatty.
Come on, big guy. Come on, buddy.
Well, that ain't gonna do it, huh?
The first baseman, number
See it
12,
rip it up there.
Tom Brady.
Hey, like you can.
Let's just try to advance the runner. Make it simple as can be.
See it, drive
1 ball, no strikes.
Come on, give me a good one. Right over the plate, right over the plate. Oh, over the plate, and we bounced it. Ugh. We did not advance the runner. We did not do good.
Now batting, the third baseman, Jason Guzman.
That's going to be a deep double play. I didn't think that was going to happen. I saw that from all the way down there. I'm like, that's going to be a tough ask.
Number 12, Tom Brady.
Hey, come on, big dog. Get your pick.
The big dog, Tom Brady. Ooh, dirt ball. Oh, dirt ball. Dum, dum,
Hey, come on, big dog.
Dirt ball.
Put a good swing on it. Here we go.
That missed. That's
Should
the
be
ball.
3-0 right now. Should be.
What?
Get a good rip on it, huh?
I would love to get one more home run before this thing is up.
Let it rip right here. All right, come on now. One time. Let it fly, buddy.
Oh, man, come on.
The catcher, number 36, Cam Gallagher.
One.
He's up.
Well, I don't know if the wind surge. At least we're on the back half of this thing. That is
Leading off for Omaha.
That is unfortunately.
Nicky Lopez.
That is unfortunately one of the things with baseball when you start falling behind. I mean, most of the season that was a good one by Brady. You know, you kind of fall behind and you're battling uphill, and we've kind of been behind this entire season.
For the wind surge, the first baseman, Tom Brady.
Drive that pitch now, eh?
One ball, one strike.
Storm Chasers 7, Wind Surge 3 in the series at the porch. Tom Brady's road to the show, his second year in the minors. I don't think he would have thought, wow, they rung him up on that. That's ticky-tack. I'm not sure Brady would have thought it would take him this long. That the Marlins would hold off on, even if he hasn't been batting as hot as you would imagine. I mean, up to 222 now. Ooh, beat that one out. Just the fact that you would want to get his name up into your organization. That they didn't pull the trigger on that just yet.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Jesus Sanchez.
Good job by Brady. I was like, why is he not going? But that was smart. A boosted at bat. We'll see what happens here with that, huh?
No one better.
Brett
I don't know,
Beatty.
boost this. Yeah.
All right, well, there it is. Storm Chasers take that one. Big win for Omaha.
Fans are
got two for 5 in that one.
First for the victorious Omaha Storm Chasers.
Yeah, about 2 games left in this series, and that'll be it for this stream. Packed house tonight. 37 win surge, and again, it doesn't bode well, unfortunately, for the Marlins organization, a team that has been known to struggle and has struggled the last number of years for their AAA ball club to also be struggling. There you go. That's a solid hit by Brady. That'll drive in an RBI and will complete the challenge. But I don't know. Hey, I feel like we've been failing challenges left and right. It's good to finally get one.
Batting fourth, the designated hitter.
I thought that was an RBI, was it not? I guess it.
Stand up
I
right here,
swear I
stand
thought
up,
that was
pick
an
it up.
RBI. Well, Storm Chasers still hold the lead here, but now we got bases loaded with Beatty. Or Beatty, pardon me. It's been a week. I don't remember these guys' names.
Slide, 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 slide.
Wow, and he hits into a double play. My, oh my. That's all you can say.
Oh, big guy. See you drive it right here.
I don't know how much longer Tom Brady can survive Kansas.
Hey, you got it. No one better. Let's go.
Nope, he's safe.
One and one.
Hey.
Hey, get your pitch up.
1-1 count to Brady.
Hey, let her rip right here.
Storm Chasers 2-0 lead here.
Get up, ball. Get
Oh,
up,
is that fair?
Attaboy, make the turn here. Make the turn.
Oh, I was going to try to go 2. I guess that was down his line, but the runner on second didn't want to go into third. I thought I can get a double out of that, but again, I guess you got to look out. The guy in front of you doesn't want to get thrown out.
The designated hitter.
All right, well, a similar situation here. Opportunity for our guys.
Halfway, halfway.
And they're probably going to just choke this one away per typical wind surge fashion.
Hey, get your pitch. Grab it right there.
Now batting. The third
Oh, we got
baseman,
new comments. Let's check.
Beatty.
Welcome back, Jaden.
Get down, get down, get down.
Well, we're in the final series of this stream here. Wrapping things up with Omaha. Their second year in the minors.
For the wind surge, the first baseman, Brady.
Oh, I thought that was going to get out of here. I want to hit one more home run before this stream ends. I thought that was going to be it.
All right, let's sit on something you like right here.
The first baseman, number 12,
Hey, get your pitch. No one better up there.
Brady.
Zero balls, one strike. No one better, no one better. Clutch up right here.
Again, I'm gonna be checking out Streets of Rage later tonight during the long intermissions
1-1.
of SummerSlam, which there's always long intermissions.
Have a rip like you can. Here you go.
Again, it's because Peacock puts the commercials in, so on the non-commercial feed, which is the one I pay for,
Hey, come on, big guy.
you
Need
get
right now.
video packages of wrestlers, but it's still the same as a commercial.
No,
So-
that missed. That's a ball. 2-2.
But who knows? I mean, Triple H running things now. Maybe he'll get rid of all that. Brady rocks it back. Oh, off the top of the wall. Oh, I thought we were going to get our home run.
That was a good hit. Oh, boy.
Man. That close, Brady. It's because of that stupid elevated wall. If that was a little more to the right, that would have been a home run. It's because that wall is elevated out there and left.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Jesus Sanchez.
On the bag, right here, on the bag.
Now batting, third baseman, Brett Beatty.
That's ball 4. Take your base.
Now batting, center fielder, Monte Harrison.
Hey, drive him in. No one better right here.
Take your base, ball 4.
All right, well, we'll get a run. We'll walk in a roll run here. And we can pull this thing off after all.
The first baseman, number 5, Brady.
I mean, the Omaha Storm Chasers are in last place in their division as well, so it's not like, oh my God, this team is so, well, not even Brady can get this team winner. I'm missing the Jumbo Shrimp.
The first baseman, number
That team's
12,
a lot better than this.
Tom Brady.
All right, though. Brady could be the hero of this one. 3-2. Storm Chasers leading the win surge. Bottom 9. 2 outs.
Get your pitch, drive it right here.
Is that going to land? Yes, it is. Tom Brady. You better score. You better score. And we have a tie game. RBI tie. Thanks to number 12 on his 12th double of the season. A beaut. Right into the corner. And a chance for Brady to be the walk-off man. Crossing home plate here. Oh, Sanchez.
Stand up. Oh,
Woo! All right. Brady is 90 feet away from being the man. Now, obviously, it'd be Beatty
Third baseman,
that would get the walk-off, but Brady would cross the plate.
Here we go, no one better.
1-1.
No one better
We
right
got
now.
to go. And he's out. That close. That close to this one being over. So we go into the 10th.
now batting, the center fielder, Zach Grant.
That hurts.
He's up.
The first baseman, number 12,
Hey, no one better right
Tom
here.
Brady.
Oof. Ooh, that
One more.
curveball
Get
ate
your
us up.
ribbies. Hey, keep going up there. Clutch up.
Storm Chasers got a 1-run lead, so
Make something happen for us.
boy, this is the last out, isn't it? This would be our last. Oh man!
0-2.
Hey, keep it going right here.
Oh,
Keep
how'd he
it
miss
going.
that? That was good timing too. 0-2 to Brady.
Come on, big dog, we need you.
1-2.
Good eye holding off on that one. Can Brady keep this game going? A dirty uniform for Brady. Been out there rolling around in it. Sends it up, and it will be a pop out, and Omaha will take the win. So we got one more. We got 4 hits in that game. Wow. All right, we got one more game, it looks like, for this stream. So let's do it. Let's do it up big. Wind Surge, Storm Chasers. Wrapping the series up from the porch.
And now,
Jam-packed house. The
your Wichita.
The excitement of seeing Tom Brady has obviously worn off. I think in the last game it said we had like 3,000 in attendance.
Batting third, the first baseman.
And the Marlins got to get Brady up at this point. I don't think we can request a trade, or I don't know if we can or not, but it's at this point it's starting to get kind of bleak.
Come on, get it.
I don't know if you can request a trade in the minors. Is that something we should consider?
Batting seventh.
Getting out of this organization. When we're playing, when you really sit back and look at it, we're playing in front of 3,000 people. You know, we don't want to rock the boat early on in our career, but we're playing in front of 3,000 people. It's like,
He's safe.
at some point, something's got to give, right?
Leading off for the win third, the first baseman, Tom Brady.
Come on, dig. Up.
Now batting, left fielder, Sully Matias.
Sully.
You got him.
Leading off for the win third, the first baseman, Tom
Oh, Brady will send that one deep, but it will be now just in front of the 415 wall. So we're up to 231, which is very nice for where we were in the early part of this season. And we're going to get the intentional walk. Are you seeing that, Marlins? Brady's getting the old intentional. That means word's starting to get around that this guy is picking up his batting ability.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Jesus Sanchez.
And, well, maybe they just wanted to get to Sanchez because they knew they can easily strike him out. Who knows? Either one, right? 5-0, though. Wind surge. The lead here over the Storm Chasers.
Torres.
Ugh. Boy, that was perfectly hit right through there.
Now batting, left fielder, Sully Matias.
We're going to get some more bonus baseball here. This stream going to keep on going a little bit here between Omaha and Wichita. Get a double. We're going to get in doubles, right?
The first baseman.
Bottom 10, Storm Chasers 5, Wind Surge 5.
That's the ball. 1-0.
That is foul. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Dropped right in front of the plate.
No, that's out.
And Brady was a fair ball away from that one being out of here.
Count's full.
Hey, see you drive it. Let's go, big dog.
Well, another chance for Brady to represent the walk-off. Omaha, yeah, Omaha.
The designated hitter.
Omaha Storm Chasers, though.
Sanchez.
And out. So Brady's got to retreat back to first. We were close. We were 90 feet away in the last game from Brady being the go-ahead run, and everyone behind him struggled. Hopefully they don't tell us to steal again. And that one will be out again. Yeah, I don't think Brady's crossing the plate anytime soon, I hate to say.
Now batting, right fielder, Victor.
I mean, this is supposed to be the heart of the lineup here. 4, 5, and 6, and can't. Oh my God, it's terrible. Fapple says Cinnabon is quite popular in Omaha. Wonder if they have it on the concourse at their home stadium. I have no idea. That's a good question. We're in Wichita for this particular game. So, as you can see, Omaha in the road grays. But I was actually looking for Cinnabon yesterday in the Atlanta airport, but I could not find one. I went, as I said, I went all the way up Concourse A and all the way up B, and I found an Auntie Annie's pretzel, which normally is paired with a Cinnabon, but no Cinnabon. And the Storm Chasers are going to take another one from the Wind Surge here. And I ended up just settling for a microwaved cinnamon roll that was at a generic coffee shop stand. So Brady goes 1 for 4. He gets a single and a walk. Oh, we do have one more game. I thought that was the finale. So we got one more game. That airport was huge, and in fact, I did because I was in between many flights. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, I walked around because I still had like an hour and a half before my flight would take off. So I walked around up and down gate A and up and down gate B, not even getting to C, D, E, and F, just doing those 2 gates. And I hit, I mean, that was total of my whole day, but I was mostly sitting. But I hit 9,000 steps just going up A and going up B. But yes, a lot of cool stuff to look at if you are going to have time to kill. It's almost like being in a mall, and a lot of cool sights and sounds of things to look at to save your time. They need to put Brady back at third. Brady, them moving him over to first, he can't field. I got there at 10 p.m. yesterday. Cinnabon was closed and far away from tragic. Were you at the Atlanta airport? Did we miss each other? Or are you talking about your local Cinnabon? Brady, 233. The 17 homers is still leading the way for the Wind Surge. Brady's batting in the 400s his last handful of games. Oof. Oh, well, there you go. Well, we may have just missed each other. You were at the Atlanta airport? And Brady, well, he's been sending a lot of those back, but they've been getting flyballed out. Well, that's too bad. We could have run into each other. I guess we were many, many distances away.
Now batting.
Where is the Cinnabon in that airport? Like I said, I was in A and B, and I couldn't find one, so I had to just get a cinnamon roll. I don't even know what the coffee. It was some generic like coffee shop, and it's one of those rolls in the front that they like take out and throw in a microwave. Wow, how about that? We have one of our viewers that was in the same airport I was in yesterday. What are the odds of that? Yeah, Atlanta, I will say it was strange. Plenty of stuff was open this time, but the last time I flew into Atlanta, I think that was after my, that would have been after my Canada trip? Yeah, it would have had to have been the Canada trip. Yeah, I remember getting into the Atlanta airport at like 8 at night on a Saturday and everything being closed. At least the area, whatever area I was, I don't remember what number I was at. And I took a picture and put it on Twitter and said, this is very weird that a big airport like this would be closed at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. Not by A, B, C, or D. I was looking for it walking to get to gate B. I was looking for it at gate B too, because I was at gate A, and then I was, as I said, just walking around to stretch my legs because the flight coming up is Brady is going to get a hit. The flight coming up was going to be my third flight of the day. I wanted to stretch the old legs around, you know, get the steps in. And they did not have a Cinnabon in A, and they did not have one in B. They had the pretzel shop in B, but it did not have the
Cinnabon attached to it, as most, like any mall you go to, it always has the pretzel shop and the Cinnabon are always connected, running out of the same business, if you will. And this particular one, the Auntie Annie's pretzels in Atlanta Airport in Terminal B did not have the Cinnabon. No, this is the alternate reality of Brady doing what Michael Jordan did. Even though in the game you can't make your character 40 years old, we just have to use our imagination. But this is Tom Brady, just like Michael Jordan in the 90s. That was a terrible take. Saying, you know what, I've done all I can do in football. And, he used to play baseball. You maybe know this. Such as a Brady fan. He was drafted by the Montreal Expos, and he played baseball a time in high school and what have you. So this is Brady, much like Michael Jordan in the 90s. Michael Jordan dominated his sport and said, you know what, I can't do anything else. I'm going to go play baseball. And he played baseball for 2 years. This is 40-year-old Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls deep, saying I'm going to go play baseball and see if I can go conquer another sport at the ripe age of 40.
The third baseman, number 8, Nicky Lopez.
Yes, he was a catcher, but I did not want to... if you go back and watch the earlier episode when we built Tom Brady, this was a while ago, almost a year ago at this point, I think we had that same discussion, because yes, he was a catcher, and I didn't want to make him a catcher because you would have had to catch... Basically, you would have had to be in the game for every pitch and throw people out and all that.
Now pitching for Omaha.
I feel like we had that discussion, unless I'm going crazy. Maybe we didn't have that discussion. But the position we elected to put Brady at was third for his arm. Obviously he's got a quarterback's arm, solid arm, so we put him at third base to throw the ball. And then the Marlins organization moved us to first base, didn't really give us an option, and they put us at first, and we've been there ever since. I tried to ask to move back to third because the Marlins have an opening at third base that they have a pretty weak point on their team, which I feel like if I was at third, I can get called up to the majors sooner, but there's not an option in this game to ask to go back to a different position. They can just move you around, and there you go. So, I don't know. Go review that first episode. We had that discussion about what position Brady was going to play. But we settled on third, and then we got moved to first. Oof. Well, in typical wind surge fashion, we're striking out with the best of them. So we were only going to stream to 5. And it's now 5:20, so you got 20 bonus minutes of baseball here. So pop fly, Brady making the grab. And there you go. Storm Chasers take another from the wind surge. A dominating fashion, as per the usual here. It's going to be a 7-2 final. 11 hits to the 8 to the wind surge. Brady, though, we were struggling in AAA. We have bounced back in a big way in this stream, getting our batting average into the 200s. I think we're going to end at about we can look at our stats, but we'll end at about 233 or so. We'll see where we are on the calendar as well. Get that crap off the screen. I can't even see where I'm... Make a Mii Fighter and Smash based on Tom Brady character. Okay. We'll look forward to it. Whoa, what happened? We need to get this ship turned around. Let's keep our heads focused and fun. He's been yapping about turning this ship around for a long time. It ain't turning around with this team. All right, so... Well, you can see where Brady's still far and away, 71 overall. I can't back out of this. Well, I'm going to simulate this appearance because I didn't want to be in this. We can see what stats Brady did. They literally wouldn't let you back out. That's some goofy play there. Brady went 0 for 5, so not good in my absence. So we have a month and 2 weeks to go in Brady's second season in the minors will be done. It'll be Dunyan rings. So we're 71 overall. We're moving up there. We'll take a look at our stats. We are now up to a 230 average, so we increased our average by 30 in this stream alone. 17 homers, 42 RBI. As you can see, the stealing and the speed. So that's what's stupid. Look at this. And again, we designed that purposely because Brady doesn't run fast. It's well known. Go look at Brady's 40 time. It's on YouTube. We purposely made Brady very slow so you can see his speed and his stealing. It's so stupid that this game's manager will tell you to try to steal the base when Brady's stealing is a 13. Quit telling Brady to steal second. That's one of my annoyances with this game. If you're stealing is a 13, it shouldn't be a thing to tell someone to steal. Can we talk to our agent? Can we ask for a trade? I haven't even looked at social media for a while. Oh, we got a little hit streak going. I'm not even looking at any of those. Okay. Agent. I don't think... There's not really an agent option, I don't think. If I wanted to try to get traded to another team. Maybe you have to be so many years in. All right. Well, we'll end it here. We streamed for, God, about 2.5 hours today. We got SummerSlam coming up tonight and the Arizona Rattlers, Northern Arizona Wranglers game. So the Wranglers and the Rattlers playing to go to the national championship, they're calling it, the IFL championship. Coach is not playing to his players' strengths. Absolutely. It's annoying when they do that. He's designing QB draws for Brady. It happened. We were just, rewind the stream, go to the futures game. Manager told us to steal, and it didn't work, obviously. All right, so that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you to everyone for joining in. Good to be back in Florida. We got the pay-per-view tonight on the Peacock, and we'll look to stream tomorrow. I don't know what we'll stream. Maybe some football or hockey. Told you I was getting an itch for college football. Yes, I would love to get a Cinnabon. I think I'd have to go all the way to the mall to get one. So that'd be a long way. So I don't think I'm doing that tonight, but I'm definitely itching for one because I wanted to get one last night, so I'm overdue. So maybe at some point I'll stop off at the mall and get one. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next stream.